Well, hello friends out there in YouTube land, Rob here. Today I want to share with you how to record Garageband interfaces through a field recorder that has an audio interface input built into it. So if your audio input is one such as the Tascam Portacapture X8 or others like the Zoom F6, things like that have an audio interface driver built into it, you'll be able to plug it into your iPad and use it the way I'm showing you. There are a couple of caveats. You may need a different cable than I have. I'm simply using a USB to USB connector because I have a USB and it works that way. These are both USB-C, but in some cases, you may need Apple's camera adapter, lightning to camera adapter or lightning to USB. It truly depends on the device that you're using. Today, we're going to be talking specific to the Tascam Portacapture X8. Here's another caveat. Garageband only records in 16 bits at 41.1 kilohertz. If you'd like a higher sample rate, you can get up to 24 bits, but you'll never get up to 48K sample rate at the current release. So I consider this more like recordings on the go, easy, simple stuff. Obviously, if you wanted to do a more thorough production, music production, you'd want to use something other than GarageBand. But GarageBand's not too shabby and it's free, so it's a great way to use it. Today we're going to be using a microphone. This is going to be from an XLR condenser microphone, meaning that it requires power, 48 volts phantom. This is a Tascam large diaphragm condenser microphone. And we're also going to be using a Taylor GTE Urban Ash. That's our guitar that's coming in today. Now, in order to get this set up, we've got to do a couple things. So let's start off with a brand new song. We're going to add two things. One is an audio recorder. And we're also going to come over here and add an amp. I'm going to choose a clean amp and then select the one that I prefer. Let's go ahead and expand this so that we can see it. At this point in time, we need to actually connect GarageBand to the Tascam. We're going to do that with the USB cable. The next thing to know is we have to make sure that our sample rates match. In order to do that, we come over here. We go to our recording settings, and on any device that you're using, you make sure that they match the recording settings for the iPad. In this case, 44.1 kilohertz and 24 bits. The reason I can get away with recording 24 bits currently is because I've actually set the iPad to record in 24 bits. But it's always 44.1 kilohertz. There's an important thing to note is that you may get a mismatch warning. This is a mismatch warning comes when the sample rate of the recorder does not match the sample rate of the iPad. So we're going to answer this. This right here is an audio device connected. It's just asking you to turn on monitoring if you'd like to monitor through headphones or something. Through a very strange situation for me, there are no ways to monitor while we are recording. I suppose you could actually monitor using the device headphone out over here. But there is no way on the Apple iPad to monitor and record at the same time. This is important even if you're using Bluetooth because the speaker out automatically chooses the Tascam and there's no way to choose on the iPad which device is actually sending the sound to. So it will automatically default to the Tascam, and the Tascam through this USB channel, since it's acting as an audio interface, won't send sound back. It's only sending sounds in. So in this instance, we can't monitor. The only way that we will be able to hear what we record is by playing it back afterwards. But as you could guess, if you're playing a guitar and singing, changing the effects and everything after recording in here, that really doesn't matter too much. If you wanted to perform live, this would be absolutely no way to do it. Now that it's connected, we also have to understand how the iPad recognizes the audio interface channels. Now we can do that in a couple of different ways. Let's see if I've got it pulled up over here. iBooks should show me. Page 66 on iBooks tells us from the Tascam Portacapture X8 exactly what channels are being sent as an audio interface. We're talking about USB, so what channels are coming through the USB. These two channels are automatically a stereo mix on each channel. Channel 1 and Channel 2 are stereo mix. Channels 3 and 4 are actually inputs 1 and 2, left and right. Channels 5 and 6 are actually inputs 3 and 4. And channels 7 and 8 are actually inputs 5 and 6. What does that mean? We go back to GarageBand and we come over here to our inputs and we see that for the microphone, we have many different inputs. Channel input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then these additional inputs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Now, these are specific to this audio interface, Tascam, right? Because this Portacapture X8 is actually sending this information over to the iPad. So using that we just saw, channels 1 and 2 are actually stereo each. Channels 3 and 4 are actually individual channel 1 and 2. So this is channel 1 and 2, both stereo. This is channel 3 and 4. That makes this channel 5, 6, 7, and 8. So in order for my microphone to be heard, I need to put it on channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my input is now set to channel 5. Check 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3, and you see that we've got sound coming in. Now I'm coming over here to my clean combo. We need to choose our input. Our input is actually channel 4 on the recorder, but as we know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you may hear the guitar, but look and see if you see any channel. You're hearing through my voice microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so. Now you can see a couple things. If you look on the Tascam, you'll notice that my voice is over here, but you don't see it over there. That's because we need to turn on multi-track monitoring, and we do that by making sure that these dots right here are both red. Check 1, 2, 3. Now you can see this. That's my voice, and that's my voice. And you can also see the guitar. Now you can see both the voice and the guitar at the same time. How do you like that? Okay. You'll also notice that we've got 2 of these tracks turned on right now. And if you look up here, you might see it'll show 2 faded. The reason this is important is because it's going to tell you how many are going to record next time we attempt to record. The other thing you need to know is we can add as many of these additional tracks as we'd like. So since we have a Tascam Portacapture X8, we can have 4 additional inputs that we already have. So we can have a total of 6 inputs with 8 tracks, including 2 stereo mixes. So 6 inputs and 8 tracks could be sent at one time into the iPad. So I want to show you one other thing when we set up over here. And I do recognize that you may not be able to see it very well. But when we come over here to our inputs, I'm going to go to input 4, 3, and 4, and I've turned on phantom power for my microphone. I've also turned the low cut off, but I could turn it on. I've put my noise gate off, and I've turned my limiter and compressor. I need to put my limiter on, and my EQ is going to be vocal. And that's because I'm using a microphone, so that's what I want for it. But over here on input 4, where my guitar is, I've gone ahead and set it. I'm going to turn my compressor on, and I'm going to go ahead and put my EQ to guitar. So I've got some EQ coming into the iPad already. All right, finally, I think it's time to go ahead and sing something. Gonna get a little countdown, and here we go. Used to chase that Georgia freight, couple of kids in a Chevrolet, catch a little air when we cross the tracks, sipping on something from a paper sack, hang my shirt on a maple limb, right around the corner by the river bend. Just another minute, we'll be jumping in. There we go. That's all we're going to record for right now. So we've gone ahead and recorded that, but we've got a problem. We can't hear it. We can't hear it because there's no monitoring. There's no monitoring because in this configuration, for whatever reason, because it's an iPad and not a full-fledged computer, because you don't have full control over it like you would, although this is more than powerful, you just don't have the ability to do what you need to do. So you can't select which output happens. So even if you had Bluetooth headphones plugged in, there's no way to turn Bluetooth headphones as the output when using a MIDI device or when using an audio interface. So what do? Well, it's simple. We unplug. Now that we've unplugged, of course, everything is still working over here, but all of our stuff over here is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my lavalier microphone and place it down so you can kind of see a little bit. And this is what it would sound. Used to chase that Georgia freight, couple of kids in a Chevrolet, catch a little air when we cross the tracks, sipping on something from a paper sack, Hang my shirt on a maple limb, right around the corner by the river bend. Just another minute we'll be jumping in. Okay, friends, I'm back. So now that we've got that recorded, sounded pretty nice all the way in, but this is when everything gets really cool. We could totally come in here and adjust our pitch, our drive, our voice. We could add a different compressors and things to it. We can add all of the effects that you would expect from the iPad, and in Garageband from treble and bass boost and everything else, echo, a little bit of reverb, and there you go. There you have it. That's the easy way on how to record on your iPad right here using an audio interface. Just a couple quick minutes, and I hope that you found this really helpful. Like and a thumbs up, I appreciate it. Bye for now.